This is a short foray into exponential functions. What I mean by exponential functions is a function in which you have y equals f of x is equal to some number, some constant, p to the x. That's an exponential function where our variable is the exponent. My favorite example of this right off the bat is with the p equal to 2, y equals 2 to the x. It's good to just off to the side when we're exploring a new function, you don't have a grasp for how to graph these things. Let's plot points. So over here I'm going to have x and 2 to the x. When x is 1, 2 to the first power is 2. When x is 2, 2 to the second power, putting 2 up in the x slot, gives me 4. When x is 0, remember what 2 to the 0 power is? If you don't, go over your exponents and things like that again, but you're going to see that 2 to the 0 power and anything to the 0 power, mark this, is 1. When x is 3, 2 to the third power is 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2 is 8. When x is minus 1, 2 to the minus 1 power is equal to 1 over 2 to the first power, which is 1/2. When x is minus 2, this becomes 2 to the minus 2 power is 1 over 2 to the second power, positive exponent, which is 1 over 4. When x is minus 3, a minus 3 here makes it a positive 3 in the denominator. I hope you're seeing the pattern now. A negative exponent always ends up being a positive number. You'll never get a negative number by means of a negative exponent. It will not happen, and you're about to see why. 2 to the third power, we know from here is 8, so this becomes 1 over 8, or 1/8. Now let's graph these. I don't need to do any tick marks in the negative y because we're not going to get any numbers below the x-axis. 1 and 2. So I go 1 and 2. 2 and 4. When x is 2, y is 4. 0 and 1. You'll never have 0, 0. It'll always be this guy. Anything to the 0 power is 1. I'm going to say it one more time. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Let's write that. Anything to the 0 power is 1. It really is. When x is 3, y is 8. When x is minus 1, y is 1/2. Half the way from 0 to 1. When x is minus 2, y is 1/4. When x is minus 3, y is 1/8. And if we connect the dots, we're going to get this. And as x gets big, 2 to the x gets really big. As x gets very large negatively, 2 to the x gets very small, but it never crosses this x-axis. Never does. The exponential function is always positive.